Okay, so we are back, and let's see the situation. Okay, we already have our game assigned. And let's see who has made it through. I have not checked yet, so what do we have? We have Lannister, Many-Faced God, played by Jim Henson, has won against Targ, and Lin from China with Tyrell Whitebook has beaten Martell. Okay, so it was starting to look as one of the favorites for me here, a possible winner. Wonder how that game went. And we have Alex beating Jakob in the mirror match, and we have Mad, so two French players with Knights of the Hollow Hill. And what's the, as we said, so it's Martell against non-Martell, so always going to happen. So Hannes is streaming the game between Alex and Jim. That means we get Mad versus Lin, and that sounds good to me. So let's see how it goes. Now, I did not play against Lin this year, lost to him or her last year with this Tyrell Whitebook deck, Kingsguard deck that is pretty quick with tourney potentially. But I did play against Super Duck and couldn't beat that, so these decks are tough. Now they do rely on having a bunch of cards in play to get that tourney, right, to rush with that, and there's some renown and stuff like that, which Knights of the Hollow Hill can potentially stop, but they draw a lot. They have Hollow Hill, they have a High Tower, they have Old Town, they have Old Town Undercity. All of these locations draw a bit, and there is maybe Political Disaster in this deck. Super Duck played it, I know that, so that can get at the Martell locations a little bit. Just seeing what's happening in the cycling. Remarkably small differences at the end, and looks like it's that kind of day, because we've been seeing a lot of that in Thrones as well. And let's see if it continues here. Not giving the opportunity for any kind of early reset here, just setting up two locations. And yeah, classic, right? Exchange opening. It's like a what's the word in English? So he has a set order, I was going to say, that is not really moving from, so it's exchange, coppers, and then you start with the resets. I guess if you had to, you reset earlier, right? If it's getting out of control, and possibly march to the wall. If it's, for instance, if he was set up, then you may as well march him. But then, yeah, White Swords gets him back, so not that much achieved. So I guess marched comes after Varys, potentially. One other thing that I did not mention, I think King in the North, I think, is in the plot deck. So that's a free round where none of the Martell stuff works. So if you can get on the verge of winning, then get a good King in the North. That could be the thing to do. This time gets 3 from exchange, so he misses out on an attachment. Those Green Apple Knights that have printed strength 1 but really have actual strength much higher, they can die really nicely with that Venomous Blade. Just to say once again, if anyone wants to commentate this, I'm on table 13 voice channel in the GOT Discord, so please join me. Always nice to have some company. Can't complain about getting Dorn. Now this time, this is not the game where you keep your locations for claim soak. You dupe them if you can, because PD is a genuine threat. And some disconnections early on, I hope that doesn't have a huge impact on the game, because it could be one of those that's close again. Now they're not going to time with these Martells that much. I guess one earlier did go to time, right, against Targaryen. So it can do, but this white book is pretty fast, so we'll see. Yeah, duping locations on the other side. Against Super Duck I got hit in round 2, I think, with PD. I just had King's Landing and I played a bunch of locations, those gates and Iron Throne, and no dupes found, unfortunately, for those locations, and stuff to recover. Even though King's Landing gets you some gold, yeah, deck eats a lot of gold to stop all these huge knights wanting to do their challenges with Renown potentially. You can stop small boards, you can stop Martell even with a few gold, right? You get your triggers, you're saving the kingdom or whatever, and it goes fine, but against this dominant board like deck, you need your gold. Card in Shadows now, there's plenty of options there. Knight of Flowers is in this deck. Robert Strong, Brandon Moore, cards like that, and there is no Boros, because he's in a pot with the white swords, and that's interesting. So we see some decks that are really going crazy with Boros. I played in testing against one of those decks that just recycled him in some way, and I played I think I played Saving the Kingdom one time on Boros and thought, okay, this time he stays in play at least, so he's not doing his unexpected guile or whatever, and then there were 1,000 more ways to just remove him and replay him. It was really crazy. And yeah, white sword's great as well, so it's this deck goes bigger, right, with cards like Barristan, so we get more value from that, and makes complete sense. And the other one that's in a pod with these two, Sir Balon Swan, I think he's missing out most of the time, but even he gets played a little bit. They're all very, very strong cards, and about a year and a half ago they were all available. There was no pod, so you just played the whole set, and this deck was just crazy. So what's going on with Mark here? He's revealed the character, but yeah, he does put him into play. And it's awkward, right? It's awkward attacking into 3 gold and Dorn with your characters, even though you want to get your unopposed and Renown. It's just hurting you in the long run. And doesn't do it. But the problem is, if you don't give cards away for Dorn, for instance, here we go, they just go into another exchange, so it's not like you can keep them down with the card draw. Is there cancel? There isn't. There is white sword, so you can get it back after Varys. There is a Tyrell white book deck that Nico plays that is really interesting, and that actually plays 3 copies of Varys and tries to discard the board and then plays white swords to put characters into play from the discard pile. And I think this is here to stop March, is it? I was going to play white swords to get Varys back maybe, and If it's against marched, shrewd diplomat gets it. Yeah, I think we covered some games in previous events, might have been the World Cup or even Team Regionals, stuff like that, where this Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill didn't have so much draw available because Secret Skins was restricted and couldn't combine it with Exchange. And there was some top decking going on after Mad King's Command, but now they're just going Mad King's Command themselves, so it's a real shift. It's really strong. And I thought I could have a good tournament here because I'm playing a Throne and Chamber deck with Grand Melee, so it's difficult to push challenges through, but I don't know. Let's say boards are empty after the resets and they get their own Throne. They fight me for dominance. I don't know. And seized on Chamber, he calls it thinking on stuff. Would be tough for sure. No second White Swords, just goes into Time of Plenty. And what's the situation here? So we have events, we have attachments here. Seized then, Venomous Blade. We have locations. And we have characters. It's just a collection of annoying cards that you don't want to give the opponent. At least Secret Schemes is not there, so could give them Hand's Judgment. I don't think this deck is playing much. It plays Bounty, which can't be cancelled. Clever Feint you can't play in White Book. Probably, maybe the Iron Bank will have its due, although Agenda does need to kneel, so maybe not. Misty Moran given. Venomous Blade currently not hitting, but we could have those Green Apple Knights. Yeah, draws a lot here. There's one character coming in marshalling, there's one coming in challenges for sure. And then White Swords puts one in plot, and what does he do? Challenges action, okay. So we're drawing 2 every round. Sometimes more. And in the end, of course, it makes a difference. But what you don't want to do is leave yourself with 0 gold, because now he calls it thinking on mark. Stops it altogether. Yeah, probably the plan, the short term, just to oppose. Don't let the power on the faction card grow, and if it's on characters, okay, you get rid of them at some point. So what does the Shadow City Bastard do? Does it try to cancel Mark immediately, take him out of this challenges phase? Or is there another plan for him? And what does he do? Now, the card that he brings into play is discarded at the end of the phase. And can do the Boros loop with him, so I wonder. guess we won't know. I think the players know, of course, what card was going to be put into play, but we don't see it in the chat log, so... Well, he's absorbed the cancel anyway, which is something achieved at least. And being attacked, it's over reserve, so yeah, possibly worth doing, but I'm thinking putting power on your faction card to be transferred, since Martell is struggling a bit with the power icons in the games we're seeing. It's it could backfire. Let's see if it makes any difference. I think Osmond will defend this. No good reason to don't want to lose board presence, right? Want to force the opponent to reset, not just kill characters on your own and then opponent can delay. Well, never mind all of that, so doesn't defend, but these Kingsguards can stand even with the white book, so what's the plan? I hope it's not a misclick due to disconnections. Trying to pass the action windows. Yeah, well, you can't go faster if someone is disconnecting. It's they're not there to click through the actions. Yeah, I thought that might happen because of the disconnection, so I think Osmond was going to defend this. Yeah, that's fair enough. Now time could be an issue, but I'm not sure, because if at some point Tyrell plays that tourney and it fizzles, it doesn't win for one reason or another, maybe it's into Mad King's command or something, then the game goes downhill, I think. But maybe there could be a gap in power totals at that point, and then 10 minutes left or something, and Hightower drawing a bit, and you just stall it out. It's possible. Had some spikes. It's not the best deck to play that into, and I think it's missed every time so far. 2 4-costers, that's perfect for a stranger. And discards Marjorie, that's unfortunate because she allows the agenda to be triggered offensively as well. Yeah, misses again. I think, I'm not sure what the numbers are here. Some decks that have been posted from the World Cup and such, they go well under 30. Which is, in a 60 card deck, it's quite low, right? Most decks would be in the low to mid 30s. Some go 40 if they're really crazy on characters, and some go mid to high 20s. any other numbers. So we've seen combo decks with 11, and we've seen decks with 0 characters and stuff like that. So it's possible to play it, but mid to high 20s I think is realistically the lower you can get, the lowest you can get. Prized man here again, gives some power away, but he will keep going to the dead pile and annoying Lynn here. Well, just playing the locations. And political disaster not really on here. He's played one too many to keep all of them, and Martell is fine. So that's already swinging now. And losing the other Marjorie as well. There has to be a second white swords. If you play one, you play the other as well, I think. Now this location is not something to be overlooked. Cannot play more than one event, so that's relevant in the challenges phase. As he calls it, thinking there's vengeance, there is burning on the sand, hence judgment, so plenty. And you know, when one is played, you're safe. What now, coppers? Or is it time for Mad King's Command? I don't know, 5 cards, and are 3 characters being played from that position? Kind of want to play that when Tourney is revealed, right? Although even then, this deck can jump a little bit, so it's tricky. I think coppers. Ah, plays it. Okay, but there's a free character coming in. Could be Maristan again. Free character coming in, and there's plenty of gold to put 2 more strong ones in. Then you hope for some dupes, and you keep 3 locations. You keep yeah, these 3, and okay, the tower was useful, but has to go, I think. And that's not going to be the best round, I think, for Martell here. But okay, after this round, most cards gone from the Tyrell hand. Although that high tower, such a strong location. It's actually a deck that plays out of action a bit, right? You need King's Guards, 7 different ones, which means you have to go into Lannister and this Barristan from Baratheon a little bit. There is one in Martell that doesn't make the cut usually. And this only works in mono Tyrell, but it's still drawing. And now we have that Green Apple Knight, but I think it's going, right? It's going for Venomous Blade, I would expect. Well, he already has renown. So no downside, just a plus. And there we go. One of my least favorite cards in the game, because it just keeps coming back. It's so easy to recycle the characters, and kills one every round. Nothing you can do. Another one of those cards that quite clearly should have been terminal. Hasn't found a third character though. And do we have a desert trader? We don't. So maybe some ambush. There is 1 gold for Tyrell and 1 card in shadows. I don't know what that could be. Pinch desert trader away. It's yeah, not brilliant. Is there anything that comes in for free? Boros is not in this deck, so anything with Shadow 1 or an ability that puts it into play. Unexpected guy to stand Knight of Flowers, I think, but actually he says you stand the Kingsguard. That usually means he stands himself, right? But he could stand Barristan, who can of course attack. So now what's the order though? Yeah, keep that Desert Trader in play. Nightmares on Dawn. That's 1 to cancel if you can. You want a few more cards here. Burning, okay. It's useful, right? But you're down to 3 cards and one of them is burning that you need to play. Feel like when you have 10, that Mad King's command is yeah. You could have burning and the Dornish Spy and the secret schemes, right? But then there will be stuff in play here. That's it, no stand for Barristan. And that last card possibly going now. Hightower Knight. Could have been put into play with Barristan. Then you get 3 characters in play. It seems like could have been done, but of course Mogul is still looming. And unfortunately, no Lord Trait on Barristan, so now Knight of Flowers losing the icon. I said there could have been a Dornish Spy as well. Well, there is. So that's alright, but Dorn being Nightmares was a good play. And now there is no card advantage, so you can march him, I guess. March your Shadow City Bastard. And you don't have a huge advantage. But Dorn back online and yeah, you chip away. Yeah, welcome to the game, Thomas. Yeah, definitely check that those deck building videos. There's some useful information how to build your decks. Not all of them are super simple, but a lot of them are quite friendly for beginners. But really, at the end of the day, it's you just need to play a lot, right? Because that's the thing that matters the most. Get a deck and play it a lot to see how the games go, where you run into problems, make changes that way. And most decks in this game are not that complicated. Some have so many triggers and need sequencing in a particular order, and they can get pretty crazy, but most of them not so much. Even this reset control deck seems like you really need to play it well, right? Get resets correctly and stall when the board is against you, but it's not that complicated once you get a few games. High Tower grabs a character, but again running into problems with icon control. What's the card in shadows? This one he can defend if he likes, and I think he can stand from that. Gains the renownment attacking alone. Secret schemes, suddenly, even from a non-drop lot, getting those cards such a huge advantage. It really should have been restricted along with exchange of information. I think that's completely fair. Then you play coppers, you play 2 coppers. It's slightly worse. There was some argument actually about that very topic a few weeks back, if exchange is better than coppers. I think it is, because before it was restricted, it replaced coppers as the plot of choice for any deck that had at least some kind of spread of card types. Losing the hand's judgment, not cancelling vengeance because that's the card anyway. And now what? Still have that mystery card in shadows. Was it there for Mad King's command as well, right? So must have put it there for a reason. And let's see if it comes into play to save the game at some point. Yeah, there's the tourney. That's not going to do much. We knew that in this game. It was impossible. So I take it the other game has finished. So is it a Martell mirror final? Or was it Lannister? A Clansman, right? That's a strong deck. It's tough to play against. So this game and the one that Alex played, we watched, and decks seem to be pretty much identical. This one had what's the guy? Tattered Prince, which I didn't see Alex play, so I'm not sure if he does or not. but it seems really low on the power icon, so always there's some kind of problem going into the challenges phase and there's no power icon just to get unopposed power against an opponent who has nothing. So seems like a slight weakness there. Maybe just another charge or two. Attacking the hand now. And hitting the armor, which is not bad from Lin's point of view. And currently Jamie can defend himself against the Desert Raider. Desert Raider does not bother to attack. And Jamie cannot either. And now we are getting towards the end. So we have Morgulis remaining. It will give prize away and put some characters in the dead pile. We saw Misty Morn being discarded earlier. And this is a mystery. I was thinking it's Political Disaster, but it might not be. It's Return. Saving that for the last against this deck with Stranger and Morgulis. Keeps Jamie alive. And now Hightower needs to be useful here. Get a character, get a good trigger, get a bit of a board. Oh, just checking if that was passed intentionally. That's harsh, 9 gold, nothing to play. Not completely out of the question that there's ambush. We saw Hightower Spy earlier. Quite a fair off pair here to ask, just to make sure. Might have been, I'm not sure what that means. Is that a tactical mistake or an actual misclick? But I think Lin is possibly thinking that the game is going downhill here and it'll be difficult to recover. And again, this bizarre situation, right, that I'm not used to seeing. This Standing Blood, Orange Grow, 2 of them, and 3 gold left. If there was just a Desert Scavenger against an empty board, he comes in, he does unopposed power. No claim, but okay. It's 9-9, right? Anything helps. And it's just not there, but okay. Dorn gone, it's drawn everything at this point. It's a bit late and just brings in Starfall, which means now that if Lin does draw a power icon, that's gone. And still there's a mystery card in Shadows. And now the Hightower locked as well. Surprised it wasn't... Is that 8 gold? Does that say 8 gold? Can't bestow it for 8, can you? Might say 3. Yeah, it's 3. It looks like 8 on my screen. Yeah, maybe playing that on Seized was the better option here. Give herself a chance, because it's still... Martell is still not playing any power icons, so... Get a few characters, they're not really dead. Baristan is dead, and okay, Osmond and Molinder is plenty alive. Knight of Flower is alive. Get 2 in, get unopposed power. It's playable. But now the draw is restricted here. White Sword's back, so that's bringing something in anyway. Probably not from hand. Knight of Flowers seems like the best character. There he is. If this was not here, would be drawing another card, and Starfall would have trouble locking him. However, so many other options, right? So many options here for Pierre with all the icon control that you can get. So what did Exchange get? Surprisingly useless cards on this occasion. Escort, he does have a power icon. There's a Grow and his Viper Eyes. And Outbound hits. Gets Lin to 10. Hits Robert Strong, and a card is marshaled into Shadows. Doesn't mean that it's Sir Robert Strong, but it's very likely. He gets locked. He's used to this. He's locked earlier as well. Now anyway, to get rid of Marjorie as well, can take one icon of her. But I would expect more to come. Takes Intrigue. It's going to take power as well. Has to, surely. No, but can it be defended anyway? And pulls the character into the challenge. Even though that means it's now going to be opposed. Ah, there we go. That's a good call in hindsight. Had to be this to get her out of the challenge, and Hotoki is strong enough at the moment to beat the Knight of Flowers in a challenge, but still no power icon. Those Shadow City bastards, they're ambush 3, right? So can't bring them into play. Not sure who won the other game, but if it's a Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill Mirror, we can say that it's a pretty bad deck, missing a bunch of power icons to be really efficient. And wins on defense as well, for what that's worth, with that Grimlock Trader. And now what? Otto does military. So if it's Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill in the final, with the lack of power icons and all the starfalls, I think that's not going to 15 power if it's a 55-minute game. Not sure if there's other rules for the final, if it's extended or not. Here we go, but still he can't win the power challenge. He's going to kill them now though. Even Sir Robert Strong in Shadows couldn't get him if there's some kind of Iron Bank will have its due. Stops the unopposed and stays ahead. It's hand wins dominance. It's interesting, right? It's such a frustration. Everything is completely blocked. The opponent has so many tricks, but you kind of stay ahead. Even the previous game was like that. Still on the verge of winning there. So just something went through at one point. So it's close games. And here comes another white swords. It's going to put Garland or something in, right? Bryce or... I think something with the power icon is the thing to do. Because that's Martell's weakness. Begging brother in the deck as well. Haven't seen that yet. Has to give a power icon. Slightly unlucky. There's no Green Blood Trader or anything. So now that cheap little House Dane escort coming in. 14 cards left. We have not seen an Archivist. I don't think it's in the deck. And we know how Pierre is with decking himself at that infamous moment in the 8 Regents tournament last year with, I think it was Martell Stag at that time, full on Cancer Lancer deck, and had the game one time, I think was expiring, and just played the secret schemes for 6 or something when he had 3 cards left in the deck. I think there's a Venomous Blade to get rid of that Hedge Knight as well now. Yeah, there always is. So that's taking one character out, and then Bryce is all alone with that Starfall. 7 gold left this time though, so Robert Strong in Shadows and that mystery card. Could it be something that's died in the meantime? Copy of Knight of Flowers. If it's Shrewd Diplomat and he's kept it in Shadows all this time, that's takes some discipline to do that. Wait for the very end. So I guess we're passing this, and then whatever attacks is getting killed by Sir Robert Strong. Most of the deck and no Iron Throne, that would have helped a little bit too. Again, conceding some power for dominance. And now there isn't that much time left. At some point has to completely turn it around. It was closer than it is now. It's now 12-9. It was closer a round or 2 back. Somehow Lin just sticking in there. And this is not going through, right? So Robert is killing Ario Hotach, but then, okay, you can... well, actually, you don't need to do anything with Starfall, so he just comes in to kill him. And stay standing for dominance, I think. Could win on defense and trigger a white book. But that Serves no purpose. Yeah, had to do that on the military challenge. I'm sure he was hoping to do it on the power challenge. I think now we'll have unopposed intrigue, then Starfall takes Bryce's power icon, and we'll have unopposed power. Then it's 11-11. And again dominance for Tyrell to stay ahead. What's going on now? Trying to trigger Old Town? No, that's already null threat from previously. More lag. Hopefully doesn't go to time with an awkward moment at the end, but it's decided by 1 power or so. Especially as it's there's nothing to do here, right? So it's quite clearly Green Blood Trader does unopposed intrigue, Ariane Martell does unopposed power, or maybe the Escort does it, whatever, and Lin wins dominance. That's the sequence. So it's we know it's going to be 12-11 going into another round. Yeah, I'm sure people are watching this, so obviously there is connection problems. And I think it's possible to say that there would have been time for an extra round, potentially without all of this, and do another one after time expires. But the judges here, or the organizers, would decide, I guess. And if Lin doesn't reconnect, then of course it's an auto loss, which would be a shame. 5 cards in hand now. Probably some of those are dead, so interesting situation. You kind of can't play. Okay, Morgulis is pinned anyway. Stranger is awkward. There's March available. You could go that. March Robert Strong, and he's still stuck with no power icon and can't attack, so should be able to get ahead somehow. But I keep saying that, and there isn't that situation. You know, when I play Baratheon and I have that Storm's End and some deal in when time is running out, and get a Cilici or a Nimri trigger, and I count, okay, I'm going to get 3 unopposed with power claim, maybe 1 renown or Bastard Nightsong trigger and Throne and Chamber, and I win from 8 to 15. But this deck is not doing that, even in this situation. It's not getting 3 unopposed, right? Even with all the tricks. It's getting 1 unopposed and maybe a power challenge and then losing dominance, so. White swords are gone to get stuff from the discard pile and high tower is seized, so whatever is here is getting played and Old Town is available. Okay, maybe you have a chance of triggering that if it doesn't get cancelled. Heads on spikes, was that that was on, so ooh, heads on spikes. Try your luck, see if you can get it. Has to try, surely. Or do we go tourney? And 8 cards in hand. Tourney. From 13, not going heads. That's interesting. I think I would be scared that Martell has too much, right? He's marching one character and he has Starfall and has Nymeria lurking about and has Dornish Spies, Shadow City Bastards. It's half a chance of winning power claim, some unopposed, and game is over. But with heads on spikes, well, half a chance. I think it's more than half a chance, right? It's his favorite. And heads on spikes, in this deck, I don't know. Let's say it's a 50-50. I would have tried it. Robert Strong gets marched. He has only one icon to be removed, and Bryce has two, so and there's half a chance of drawing another Robert if there's two in the deck. Now what? Bounty of High Garden into some board presence and try to win. Knights actually are now immune to events, for what that's worth, so are there events that target characters? Not so much, right? Icon control is all in the locations and characters here, and the events are basically the ones that deal with claim and draw and stuff like that. Pierre goes first. And this is gonna be a nervy round, so I think the disconnections don't matter. We didn't lose 5 minutes, and this round, if it's really close, it's going to take 5 minutes. Renowned guy needs some icon control. Let's say Shadow City Bastard in play. If you get unopposed power, and then another unopposed challenge, Intrigue icon seem weak for Tyrell. And that mystery card in Shadows, if that's Shrewd Diplomat. And now going first, can't get the Venomous Blade anymore. Interesting, that's all that's marshaled. If Pierre had gone second, plays the Venomous Blade, and then I think he has it. But you never know. There was enough gold and enough cards to be worried. Hasn't bestowed anything on Tattered Prince. It's the last round, so there's 7 gold. It's going for the unopposed. With Renown, that's 13-13. And he can get power, but not unopposed at the moment. And if he goes military, he's not winning that, and the Knights have Renown. Is there more icon control? 9 cards left in the deck. And Shadow City Bastards 2 are gone. Where are the Dornish Spies? Dead. 2 dead anyway. Needs to take an icon. And what does she do? What does she bring in? Because Hotach is dead and the icon control guys, I don't know, 2 copies of each or 3 in the deck. If there's 3, there's a good chance something else is there. So she's, yeah. For Pierto, it's 35 spectators. Should watch the streams instead. She can win power, brings it to 14-12. But then the problem is, yeah, he has to, he can do military, and it needs to be correctly defended. And since Lin goes down to 12, doesn't go to 15 with 2 renown. Ooh, there has to be something more in hand as well. Southron Messenger. Have not seen it in any of the games. Yeah. That shadow card has been there for something like 6 rounds. I think from the Mad King's command, that was way back. And has not been used even though there's gold. So if he's held a Shrewd Diplomat there, or a Knight of Flowers, who I believe is he now? Now he's dead, so now it would be too late. He's held the power icon there for all this time. It's amazing. But it could be something that died in the meantime. I don't know. It's not Unexpected Guile either. That would have been used. There was a chance, I think. Sir Robert Strong would be nice, but I don't think it's him. Let's not... Oh, is it going to crash? Has it crashed completely? Because we have a blue bar here, and that's bad news for everyone. Because that's now a situation that will not be easily resolved, so let's hope the server is still there. Okay, we have a green bar again, so otherwise I think the only way to resolve the game is to take some screenshots of the player's hands and recreate the situation. But even then, what if there is an Old Town trigger that decides the game or something? We've gone red again, so I really hope it doesn't ruin the game now. Yeah, so interesting situation we have here. So the spectators thingy was removed from the chat log, just so we wouldn't get all of these messages for people joining and leaving. And I think we've had more than 34, and the server was fine, right? So I'm surprised it crashed here. It really, people should not only join the stream but commentate as well. Okay. I won't leave the game. Still there, but I do have the red bar, so I am disconnected at the moment, I think. Oh, the game is has progressed. So I was disconnected. I was worried that it's frozen for everyone. So okay, that's not as bad then. So let's refresh. So it was one challenge before the end. Okay, so it's not a big deal. Let's see if the chat log can tell us what happened. And then I edit this out for YouTube. So okay, so this is where we got disconnected, right? And there was yeah, a challenge with Ariane and Houseden Escort, and Dornish Spy came in to take the other icon, so it was unopposed power, and that was it. Okay, so sorry I made a bit of a drama out of this, but it was pretty straightforward. So there wasn't a shrewd diplomat or a Robert Strong in the end, and even Robert Strong couldn't even win it actually, because there were two attackers. So well, that was dramatic. Okay. So I guess it's time for the final in a bit. We'll see who is streaming it. Am I streaming it, or we can all join Hannes? I will be back in a second.